It's been a really action-packed morning. Actually, I feel like I've been here for a week. You know, if I just think to this morning and I think to the conversation, the opening keynote conversation with Wajira Madai, when we were taking stock and we were giving content and really talking about things like how do we achieve resilience through tackling poverty and infrastructure and what it's like to be on the same planet, in the same world, really in the same storm, but maybe not in the same boats as the rest of the world. And what I loved about the way in which the whole morning transitioned is then we were with community. And we were not helpless. Instead, we were being empowered. And I think what came out of the amazing first community roundtable, where we spoke with Obadiah Mumbi from Titwande, we went all the way to Makweni with Kisilu. We met a lot of community leaders and were really empowered and found ourselves asking questions like, are we really engaging the frontline community? In what ways? Are we being effective? Are we being efficient? What do we need to engage more? And as Kisilu told us, and as you've seen through his film, there are solutions, and farmers are activists, as are the rest of our community leaders. We had a fantastic panel led by Pasi Amayo just now, and that was so rich and it was so deep. And I think the panel that was brought together, from John Migiro, Martha Wakoli, Halima Hussein, we had a scientist and an engineer in Martha. Halima came from such a deep knowledge of parliament and law and just the legal world, and bringing all of that together into climate and her understanding of that. John, who is our very own man who harnessed the wind. It's all the comments. You can see them flying on Twitter and everywhere else. Just completely amazing what he's managed to do and what he's managed to build. And so many questions. Are we getting policy right? Why has this debate been left to the mercy of politicians and governments when, as we've seen, there are very real solutions that are being put into action but just need the support? How do we what do we do about corporate dictatorship in energy? How do we free up our energy? How can we promote Magiro lookalikes, if we can call them that, across not just Kenya, but just around the whole of Africa and the whole of the developing world? We've heard from, across the day, just suggestions, and really strong recommendations that perhaps, as Martha says, the future of power in Africa is a hybrid. It's off the grid, it's also on the grid. But how, and all our panelists said this in different ways at the end, how do we interconnect Africa? So again, how do we begin to speak and really collaborate as a continent? Because much as we're able to generate, as we've been seeing, power, and we can decentralize it, really ultimately we're going to have to figure out how to interconnect African countries and share that power really adequately. So many questions. Wonderful to hear from Chair Gozie from the Global Focal Point, who also took his time to warn us of to be a little cautious when it comes to even understanding things like nuclear, alternative energy such as nuclear power. Do we have enough clarity on things that may seem dynamic and huge and transformational? So much more in here than I could ever summarize. We are just so grateful to have had all of you join us today, and we welcome you back for tomorrow. I think Wanja has told us exactly what tomorrow is going to be all about. We're just halfway through a really incredible Climate Story Lab. Thank you so much, and let's see what our artists and cartoonists are able to sum up for us again tomorrow. Really refreshing again to see that so much that has been said can just be with master storytellers like Celeste and Billy, summarized in such a fresh and easy to understand and communicate way. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow.